For all the thanksgiving, and what thanksgiving can we return to God? Indeed, we're excited about today. It's a Monday morning and we're excited about the new day. You have a chance to make sure that you turn it around even as God has purposed it. And that's why when you're walking out of the house, make sure to say, thank you, God, and let God also go before you even as you walk out. Welcome to our breakfast show, Wake Up Africa. My name is Kokulumo. We're excited to see you.
Yeah, and my name is Biadala. You're welcome to a new week. This is the last week in February,
Yes.
and it's not even going to be a joke. February's ended so fast. February is actually the shortest month, right?
Yes.
In the entire year.
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
Anyway, so now that February is almost out of the way, what's your plan for March? You should start planning for all of that because Ghana goes celebrating independence again.
Say that again.
In March. That's a wild conversation we should be having. Have we grown? Are we there yet? What are the lessons to learn and all of that? Or is this Nkrumah's Ghana that we want to see? Well, as for Wake Up Africa, we give you all the best, right, when it comes to entertainment and everything that has to do with news. There's going to be news review today, delving deep into the news. I think today one very special thing we're going to do is to discuss what it means to have dyslexia. You don't know about it, we'll tell you about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Learning disabilities are very, very big issues in our home. The most important thing is that you need to know and have knowledge of what your children, your siblings have, whether or not they are dyscalculia. For some of us, we are very much afraid of anything calculation. For some of us, it's aphasia, dyslexia. But what do you know about some of these things? We get to go into the learning disabilities, but of course, with the focus of dyslexia. But welcome to the show indeed, even as we walk you into the journey of exciting things. We now settle for the weather, even as we bring you updates in that world. Welcome. Here. So wait.
Okay, now that we're settled, let's get into the weather, shall we? We should know what's happening. Weather is changing, I'm feeling it, because the Hamatan is kind of like losing its grip and then the rains are falling. So the weather prophet is on the line. Good morning, weather prophet. Mr. Solomon. Good morning, Mr. Solomon.
Yeah, good morning.
Good.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hope your weekend was good. Hope your weekend was good.
Yeah, good morning, the precious one.
Yeah. So take us away. What should we expect today, the weather?
By God's grace, you're still enjoying life.
Nice. So what's happening today concerning the weather?
Hello.
Okay, so I think that there's a problem with the weather prophet that has to be fixed real quick.
Thank you very much. Let me first greet our cherished viewers and listeners of WTV this morning.
Nice.
It's another beautiful brand new week, Monday, 24 days into the month of February 2025, and we are looking at the weather for today over the entire country. It's going to be partly cloudy and misty this morning across all sectors of the country. Hot and sunny in the afternoon over the entire country with no major rain activities today, except few places with few chances of rainfall activities over places like western south, western north, and eastern regions late afternoon into the evening before after 5 p.m. with localized isolated rainfall activities. The northern sectors will be sunny in the afternoon and slightly hazy. In the evening, the northern sectors will remain slightly hazy. Today, eastern coast of Nigeria is where they will enjoy the rains more in the afternoon today. The state of the sea today will be calm today, so the fisher folks are free to go today. Temperatures will range from 24 degrees Celsius this morning to 33 degrees Celsius in the afternoon over the coastal belt. 23 degrees Celsius this morning to 34 degrees Celsius in the afternoon over the middle cities. 23 degrees Celsius this morning to 36 degrees Celsius in the afternoon over the transition belt, and 25 degrees Celsius to 39 degrees Celsius over the northern sectors in the afternoon. This is how the weather is expected to be for today over the entire country and parts of West Africa. I will keep you updated with any changes for viewers and listeners to be very much aware. Thank you very much, the precious one.
Thank you. And sorry for that hiccup earlier. Thank you so much, the weather prophet. So now you know what to do. There might not be rain today, unless, of course, God changes his mind. So be advised what to wear, how to look, how to protect yourself, especially the children. Okay, now that the weather is out of the way, let's celebrate some birthdays, shall we? Up next is birthday.
Yeah. It's your birthday. It's your day, one day out of 365. It's your day, one day out of 365. Happy birthday, ooh, to you. Happy birthday, yeah, to you. Happy birthday to you. It's your birthday. It's your day, one day out of 365. It's your day, one day out of 365. Happy birthday, ooh, to you. Happy birthday, yeah.
So there we are. If you are celebrating your birthday today, you share the birthday with these wonderful individuals, right? And even more in the world. Make sure that if you want to be celebrated just as this as well, if you just tuned in and you just saw this and yours is coming up, make sure that you send it to us via the number on the screen so that we can get to celebrate you as well, and to make sure you do just that. But today is the birthday of the mother of the head of MCR, right? Jonas, and of course his brother Solomon. Today is your birthday to you, Mom, from Jonas and Solomon. Happy birthday to you, Mommy. We love you so much and thank you for giving us these beautiful souls. Enjoy your day and grow younger and be blessed as well. And so today's the birthday of the boys as well. And so mother, the boys' mother. Well, also happy birthday to these wonderful souls. Ruth Nicole Jansi, today's your birthday. Today is Stika Bain's birthday. Happy birthday to you as well. Also happy birthday to Bridget Sedibe. Today's your birthday. Make sure that you celebrate, right? And thank God for adding another year to yours. Well, let's do some news now. Let's get onto the local scene and also bring you some news from the international scene by way of Wake Up Bass. Well, let's start off with the very first one here in Ghana. Big one for the country, even as we mark our 68th Independence Day. And the theme is reflect, review, and research. There are quite a number of things that are also showing signs of reflection, very deep reflection, very deep review and researching as well, as far as this celebration is concerned. And so it's not going to be marked by what you see where the children in our villages, somewhere in the townland, where the Adelites from are marching. Eyes right? No eyes right this year. Children
will not collapse.
People will not collapse in Jesus' name, amen. So we are only, of course, marking the day at the forecourt of the presidency, and of course, the president will speak to the nation. Hooray! Our $50 million or Ghana cedis, whatever they use, will be saved now. And so that's that. And so all of you who are looking forward to Ghana's Independence Day and the marching, no, you are not seeing it today, of course, this year. But let's look forward to the celebration, though, on the 6th of March.
Okay, Soccer Day. SHTS shut down indefinitely following clashes between students and residents. Soccer Day.
So you see this school? This school is a making of, I just feel that it was even not built to, I don't know what the plan was, but Professor Atam Mills raised this school from ground zero.
Okay.
To a certain level before he passed. And it was much talked about because this town did not have any senior high school at the time.
Right.
So they were provided with, I do not know, and they were doing so well. They go to a lot of competitions in very recent times, and they become first, I think, debate or something.
Oh.
Yeah, so well. So if I'm talking about Tamils, you can just tell some few years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened though. You see here, let's talk about this free SHS thing well. Maybe we'll find time and sit down and debate this.
And see what we put in the system.
I think that we were not just ready. You can read partisan thing into this, but we're just not ready for this. Parents were not ready.
That's why there was a need for that educational
forum. No, it started last week.
Yeah. I think that
in Hull.
we need to fully look at this.
It's bad.
But I also don't get why morality has become a point of discussion lately. We didn't have to talk about students vandalizing things and people from towns coming into dormitories and spoiling things. I mean, it wasn't a discussion in those days. How it is that it is now, when we're supposed to get better.
Yeah. Because, just well. I don't know how we can, but the Volta Regional Minister had gone through the places. The students have been evacuated. The buses were provided at whose cost? STC and the rest came at whose cost? Our cost. Our expense. No, it's our money.
Yeah.
And so they are off the campus because of fear of reprisal attacks from the residents. But we'll see. We'll follow the story and see how it unfolds, really.
Violence.
Well, let's now go to the offices of CLOSAG as they have resolved to sustain strike following the National Executive Council meeting. If you recall, for those of you who recall, CLOSAG is on strike because they believe that the man who has been appointed to lead the local government service is not from their stock. So you need to rise through the ranks to be appointed. Anything beyond that or outside the local government service is partisan, and they have said that the Supreme Court upheld their point. And so that's why they are striking. In that press conference, he also stated that this is in no way can be described as some standing against the authority of the president. But I'm saying that this man, the man seated there, Mr. Bampo. Mr. Adu Bampo was at that particular meeting to discuss emoluments and salaries. Why? He was on strike, yet he went there. Why?
Well, he was on strike from working in the office. He wasn't on strike from attending meetings and all that. But I think that the last...
Such double standards.
I know. But the last thing we should be looking out for is strike. What happens to communication first? What happened to dialoguing? What happens to, okay, what's the way forward? And then, I mean, I don't even know why strike is so easy to I don't know, like it's so easy to go on strike these days rather than to have conversation.
As I said earlier, it might be on a lighter side, but I believe strongly that people just go on strike. And some people, it's alleged that some people go on strike because they are tired. So,
I think so.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Teachers and nurses, Charlie, we are strike. Charlie, just go on strike. Hit strike. Hits the strike.
So by the time we are back, we are refreshed.
Rest more.
We'll do our pack and get money.
But that's just by the way. We'll see how this pans out. I don't know when they're going to get tired and go to work. But press them, please make sure you take it from their salary. The days they've not gone to work. These days,
right?
It has to stop.
Rainstorm wreaks havoc at Bandai. Over 100 homes affected in Bankamba community. Rainstorm. So that means the foundation of these things are weak. Is that what it is?
Yeah, or better still, people are built in waterways.
Yeah.
Planning officers at the district and municipalities of these places would have to answer questions. What caused it? We have to. Otherwise, what I'm thinking is of course, my greatest suspicion, as always, is it's going to be left unattended to, and we move on, only to see
we
another
donate
one.
to them to rebuild.
Or even sometimes we don't, because we hear issues of NADMO and how they hoard things and all of that. These things are alleged, but one can also say maybe there's a truth in it, but it's just, again, alleged. But, well, we sympathize with those affected.
Yeah.
Oxygen plants at 37 military hospital fixed, defense minister announces. Right.
And it's making news how?
Oh, but when it was not fixed, it made news.
That's my point. These are basic things that people should have.
No, it went off and people might have lost their lives in it. Because how many hospitals?
That's my point, that these things, this thing shouldn't make news. This should be part of the job of probably the administration and all of that. So if administration is not probably working or has not procured these things, why is it making news?
Welcome to Ghana.
I see.
Yeah.
Where everything makes news. Nice.
Anyways.
Oh my God, no. All right. So the veteran celebrated actor Mauli Semevo passes away. So he got caught up in fire. 40% of his body got burnt. Lots of organizations tried to donate. Individuals come to his rescue, but
I made a point when Mr. Ivan Kwashiga came here. The last time I saw Mr. Semevo was still walking, like long distance, I could tell. Why? 63, veteran actor who has, giving us one birthday, even now, still forming.
yeah.
But Mr. Ivan Kwashiga made a very, very critical statement, right? He says, look, we ourselves are not making even better money, so we cannot even be extended to the actors. So if you see what you eat, how you keep yourself, if it's the cells are still working right and all of that, it encourages, early recovery. But once it's absent, anything could, whatever. And he's old. It's not like he's a young man like me who can, even me, my pain, the issue, when you see me feel pain, you clap for me. You clap. And I'm Mr. Semevo. So, here we are. We need to continue the conversation. How did he even get to this point Was there anyone in the house? Who was in the house? Does he have anyone around at this age? I mean, there are a lot of issues, welfare issues, you know, a lot of issues we need to take account.
You can trust Africans. We celebrate death.
Oh, yes.
We enjoy funerals.
Oh, yes.
We will kill ourselves because someone else is dead.
Oh, yes.
You know, so
yes.
I'm sure that probably for the first 2 weeks, they probably will enjoy donations from people. Then after that, they'll be left dry. But it is what it is. As our prayers are with him, may his soul rest in perfect peace.
And to the close families as well.
Yeah. So we'll meet in heaven acting David's songs. Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
It's heaven that we want to go. We'll not come and struggle and
I know, right?
still. Well, let's go to international news now, shall we?
UK man fined over 3,000 euros for noisy cockle that disturbed neighbors.
Ghana,
We are blocking roads, so they don't know. We do Bonyo party on the street.
We just wake up because the indigenous feel like that street belongs to them. And my father is passed and he belongs to the royal family. Block roads and all of that. Well, probably we need to get more, but in any case, the surface.
This only shows that the system is working.
Oh, it has to work.
Yeah.
It has to work. It has to work. With churches, I even have a challenge with churches because you see, like it or yes, I maintain that churches must not pay tax. But what, and I've said this before, radio, television, what we need to do is to tax every church to build a soundproof auditorium so that I will not leave my church close at 8 p.m.
And come here
By
now
the time I'm
clapping
about
and killing
to
the
sleep,
devil.
there is Biadela and his cohorts who have just started and they are praying for church growth. Higher, and when you go and tell them you have become the devil. No.
I know the devil.
No.
Or he said to you, maybe you are not the devil, you are just sent by him.
Anyway.
We have close contact with you.
Anyway, beyond that.
Wow. I'm actually really surprised about it.
Oh, don't be. The law releases that. The law works. Boat fleeing rebel offense capsizes in Congo, killing how many? 12. Yeah. They are still fleeing. They want to. Anyways. Who is at fault?
Uganda.
Even Ghana.
Really
People are trying it. South Africa invites Ukraine Zelensky for state visits. So Trump is trying to, by way of some discussions and call it agreements, come to some terms with both parties, especially. People have found ways of, detecting that he's siding with his good friend Wu Ting. And so I don't know what is Zelensky's next line of action. Again, we need to have some conversation on this so that we bring to the fore. But you see, if these superpowers are fighting and they have allies, that is why someone like Paul Kagame will say, you dare not come. UN does not have to come and talk to me anyhow. Especially with the M23, invading DRC.
Yeah.
This is the dynamics that play on the African continent. And you say that, when it is our turn, you are loud. But how many times have you spoken against Putin and Ukraine and all of that? Because your allies and all of that. So the world is coming to an end, I guess. I'm sure.
Come, Jesus, come.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You are?
Oh, yes, I am.
You give me 5 minutes.
I'll give 5 minutes. That's like 5 years. You haven't had your best moments yet. You're living your best life yet.
Yes.
Tunisia president calls for amendments to central bank laws.
Righty.
Okay. Free though.
USAID frees puts HIV positive orphans in Kenya at risk as medical supplies dwindle.
Well, this is expected. It's expected.
Oh, yes.
So now probably if they start to put a price on these antiretroviral drugs, then the rich would be the only ones who can afford it. Because originally it's not supposed to be bought.
Yeah.
But if they have to now get to a point where they are able to supply, get to a reorder level and ask for more, then it means that they'll have to start to put some coins on it.
Let it be said that not only have they withdrawn aid, the United States, I mean, they have withdrawn also from the WHO.
Yeah.
And they are one of the biggest financiers of the WHO. So after the effects, while we wait to see what WHO will also do in this, and that's why humanitarian efforts have been stifled. So it's a ripple effect. It's about to blow in our face, especially those who have not learned lessons from COVID.
Yeah.
This is what we're about to see again, and the USA is leading the charge.
You think we're ready?
Ready? It's about to blow. It is about to blow because people have even planned this year and the
around
these things,
right?
Yeah. So they've read their budget or presented their budget, expecting that these aids will come in, so to cushion and to serve as buffers, only for Trump to say, "I've signed it off." So there we are. If again this does not teach us lessons, which it will not, because you have very headstrong African leaders. You have African leaders who are sometimes can be described as very insensitive.
Right.
Very, very insensitive. I don't know what the power is for. I don't know what the hoarding of the money is for. Most of you, the monies you get can be used to cater for your families, but you still want to steal more at the detriment, at the expense of us, the young people, children, women who are vulnerable. Well, there we are. If we want to talk about Africa today,
I know.
might not end. So let's take a break, I guess.
Yeah, that would help. I mean, because I don't really know where we're going and what we should be looking at. We're having lots of very fruitful dialogues. But my point is this just going to be the webinars, the seminars, and all of that, and we won't get to work?
Oh, one conversation at a time. I believe it, and I have a dream. I have a dream that there'll be an African who will rise up and say, look, no to this. Let's unite and let's all come together. I have a dream. Maybe in my generation, maybe in the next generation.
Please, which generation are you waiting for again? It's your generation now.
Oh, yeah, we are trying, but most of the colleagues that are on the scene, the podcast scene that I've seen, and the ways they got there.
It might not change, right? There's no difference.
Worse. Yeah, it might just
I mean, because the Bible says that the less is always blessed by the better. In other words, we're learning this way.
Yes.
So if people are fighting over desk, who came first? People are sitting on people's lap. In Parliament.
In Parliament, yeah, of course.
You expect that we'll do different?
No.
Let's take a break and do something different with our lives, shall we? Let's go for a break, and then when we come back, the Wake Up Africa will continue.
One upgrade is nice, but a double upgrade is amazing. And that's how we do it. Upgrade today to get even more with Step Up. If you're on GOtv Max and upgrade to GOtv Super, you'll get way more with GOtv Super Plus.
It's so cool!
Get big value. Get big entertainment.
Very good.
Perfect! Upgrade and get even more with GOtv. GOtv. Love it.
I want to welcome you to Wake Up Africa Morning Show. If Africa has ever needed to wake up, it's now. I promise you that this Wake Up Africa Morning Show will impact your life. It will illuminate you. The Bible said that thy word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. You need this insight. You need the understanding required to make all the difference in all of our lives. I want you not just to tune in to the Wake Up Africa Morning Show, but I want you to be a sponsor. I want you to partner with us as we take this Wake Up Africa morning show, the inspiration it brings, the impact across all Africa, to homes, to individuals, impacting lives. Join us to make a difference. It is said and believed that in this life, what you do to change the life of others matters than what you acquire for yourself. It is believed that it's not what you have, what you possess that matters, but the difference you made in the life of others. I believe as you partner with Wake Up Africa Morning Show, you'll be joining us to make a difference in the life of so many people out there. Partner with us, and every time we touch a life, you are blessed. Every time we impact a family, you'll be remembered for good. God bless you. Looking forward to partnering with you and tuning in to Wake Up Africa Morning Show. Prayer is a daily necessity for daily triumph.
Africa, we must unite.
We are getting Abrahamic rewards, but we are running away from Abrahamic responsibilities.
Where should Africa sit and stand in this new world order?
Africa has the youngest, fastest growing population. That's a blessing, but it's also a challenge.
Yeah.
Who did God describe as the man after his own heart?
David.
Adam.
My experience, nothing short of amazing.
I never believed I'll be able to do this. Dominion TV's Emerging Leaders program has taught me skills about marketing in a corporate setting.
My name is Danny Glover, and you're watching
Dominion TV.
Barca's season is up and running. Save! Spain are the champions of the world!
Sports Break on Dominion TV.
It's adventure after adventure after adventure. Get a load of your favorite Bible adventure series, Superbook. So, get on board. Let's join Chris, Joy, and Gizmo. It's Superbook time. Superbook. Weekdays at 4:30 p.m. Also on Saturdays, 10:30 a.m. on Dominion TV.
Step up with DStv and we'll show up by giving you more incredible entertainment.
Going to have a little fun.
Upgrade your subscription between the 13th of January and the 31st of March and get an even higher package for a whole month on us.
Buckle up, here we go.
There's nothing better than putting a little bit in but getting a lot out.
Time to boost some office morale.
If you want to build a future, you got to know what you want.
Step up and we'll show up on your home of entertainment, DStv.
Welcome back. Thank you very much for spending time with us. It's Wake Up Africa. Remember, we're streaming live on all our socials. Make sure to connect. Let us also know. I want to know what your thoughts are on the issues that we're discussing from wherever you're watching us, Nigeria, where South Africa, Kenya, wherever in the 48 countries that we are live in. Of course, outside the shores of the continent as well. On live on our socials, from Facebook, Instagram to YouTube to X, My Dominion TV. Make sure that you drop your comments right there. I'll share with the world indeed. I promise I will share with the world. Well, my first guest is in the studio. He joins us. This is time for our news review segment. This is where we get to share our perspectives on what the news is really. Mr. Xavier Demoji is a clinical engineer. He works with LECMA, but of course, an assistant pastor with the Action Chapel International, Teshi, here in Accra, Ghana. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Right, also joining us via Zoom is Reverend Nanaya Bafoboni, who is an architect and a builder, and also pastors the Eagles Network International Ministries. He also joins us here on a Monday morning like this. He's not on yet. We'll get him, and as and when we do fix him with the conversations. But let's start off on a very sad one as well. Let's go to the Volta region, one of the 16 administrative regions here in Ghana, where the Ghana Education Service has indefinitely closed down the Sokode Senior High Technical School following violent clashes between students and residents of the Sokode community, right? The confrontation, which began on Saturday, February 22nd, stemmed from unresolved agreements and resulted in injuries on both sides. Among the injured is a journalist from Hope Bay Swiss FM who sustained severe wounds while covering the incident. Several students and townspeople have also suffered varying degrees of injury. Well, in response, the police and military personnel have been deployed to the school and the Sokode community to restore calm and prevent further escalation. What we know is that the Volta Regional GS Director, Francis Yao Agbemiadi, confirmed the closure of the schools, and we also know that most of the students have been evacuated through the buses that have been provided by the Volta Regional Minister. At whose cost, we'll get to know. These are pictures of them leaving. So because of the closure of the school indefinitely. Let me come to studio. But I know that Reverend Bafoboni has joined us. Reverend Bafoboni, can you hear me? And good morning, and thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, good morning, Koku. It's a joy to always see you on Monday morning. And greetings to you and to all our cherished viewers across the globe.
Oh no, we can hear it's us, so we'll fix it and return to you shortly. But let me take the Reverend Xavier's thoughts on this particular one.
It's a very unfortunate one, These are issues that have come up in recent times that schools, you see students clashing and all sort of violence and indiscipline in the schools. It's very uncalled for, but it saddens my heart to see some of these things, but some of these things do occur in most of the schools that we know of. But it's just unfortunate it's becoming so rampant in recent time. It all comes down to our issue of indiscipline that is happening in the schools and the youth that are trying to take things or do things their own way. I am much concerned about how some of these things can be done properly, because we always see students resulting to violent breakings, properties of schools, and for soccer, there's secondary technical. And this is something that has happened between the student and the community as a result of misunderstanding that came up. It raised a lot of security issues. What happened before the student went out? Where they issued the necessary authorization? Did they receive, how do we call it, clearance to go out and all sort of things? But I'm much concerned about how students can just all of a sudden rise from just little provocation to distractions of properties and other things. I think that there should be something that should be done drastically to control some of these things that are happening. It raises an issue that, Bible says when the foundations are destroyed, what can the righteous do? There is indiscipline in school has really come down now. I remember when
discipline rather.
Yeah, discipline in school has really come down. I remember when we were in school, you can't do some of these things.
But you are from a boys' school.
Yeah, boys' schools, we there's a lot of things that happen when we were in school.
Right.
There are a lot of things that we did at the blind side of teachers and other things. It tells you the gravity of it. These are things that have come for us to know about. What about things that you don't know about? Students escaping to attack sister schools and do all sort of bad things. These are things that happen, but it all comes down to an issue of morality. What are the trainings that these students are receiving? What are some of the things that are being done to curtail some of this indiscipline? Looking at it, talk of security in the schools. You only see sometimes old men, people who are not really equipped with better logistics as securities. You only identify them with their uniform. They don't have anything equipped to even deter students from doing all sort of things. So I think looking forward, some of these people should be re-equipped well. They should have necessary logistics to protect the school. And apart from that, the school authority should come out with strict measures. Anyone that is involved in act of indiscipline should be really disciplined. I think some of these things serve as deterrent to others, but when we leave them to do whatever they want to do and there is no proper regulations, people are not arrested. Some of these juvenile laws, when you are below 18 years, they will tell you the law cannot hold you, and some of these things should be looked at because some at that age, they know a lot of things and they have the energy to do a lot of strange things. So to me, we should look at it, not just from the secondary school, but it should begin from the GSS to the XS. Because I remember when I was in secondary school, I met someone who came first year, and some of the things this guy has done before, it's mind-blowing. You ask which GSS did he go to, which home was he raised from. So it's not just an issue with the school authorities, but parents should also take it up as a personal responsibility to instill proper discipline into children.
I see. Mind you, Reverend Bafoboni, Reverend Xavier is coming from a school that has the Bank of Ghana, current governor of the Bank of Ghana. Yeah. And of course, Mr. Nordon Prayer as well is from his school as well. So this just to clear that. Well, that's all. Like, it's no, but I'm saying we've heard of things in the past where even using where he is from, Bishop Herman in the Volta region, just, I don't know how many yards there are, or meters and centimeters or miles from Mando Technical, where we used to hear about fights because there were boys' schools, and that technical school was also noted for a lot of things. Is it perhaps, and I wanted to take it from this point, is it perhaps the issue of now that we have got social media, now that we've got a lot of media, the news travels faster because probably we've lived with this for so long and we're pretending to be very peaceful people? Let's start off from there.
Yeah, greetings once again to our cherished viewers across the globe, and Africa is awake. On a lighter note, I was just going to say that why didn't the students go to town themselves to board vehicles to go home? They would have known that they are in Sokode. They would have known that they are in Sokode. They are just a bunch of cowards.
Yeah.
You don't engage town folk when you are within that community, especially when a lot of you are strangers that have just come there to school.
Yeah.
But I think that sometimes we scratch the surface of these things without looking at the depth of it. Like Reverend Senior said, I think that primarily many parents have thrown raising their children in discipline on the backs and the necks of teachers and have reneged that duty. And I think that it has been aggravated by the fact that this free SHS also is on board. Many parents have this mind about the free SHS. Do you believe that since free SHS came, there are parents who actually send their kids to school without even one grain of gari. They assume that it's free, so they'll eat every day. Some even were not giving their kids mattresses. They just assume that everything is in the school now and it is free. That's why some of the GS had to come up with a standardized prospectus for all public schools for parents to act accordingly. Because
is that not what they were told?
Absolutely. No. That's not what they were told. It's just an assumption. You get what I'm saying? People hear free and they think everything is free. I mean, you are being told to be giving free textbooks, free books, free this. So they assume that the free extends to everything. So sometimes this free thing also, it even feeds into the behavior of the students. I mean, look, if you were paying from 2,000, 1,500, whatever, to go to school, you'll be very careful about being sent home. You'll be very careful about what your parents will say when you put that money to waste. So even though back in our day, we had all these little fights and squabbles, it was very contained because we understood the societal and the parental repercussions. But now it's like discipline is breaking down because of this free mentality. Students feel there's nothing at stake. And again, also, there's a case of huge overpopulation. You see, we have the same staff, yet we have some of the school student population sometimes quadrupling. Some of the schools have student population that is almost like a college or a university now, and you still have the same staff. So supervision is very limited. When students begin to rampage and riot like this, it's so difficult to contain them. I knew military and police being sent to university campuses to maintain law and order, but never secondary schools, where you have a joint military police action. So it tells you that we have a lot of things on our hands, and I think that this matter should be investigated, and we must go beyond just our juvenile law. Some of them must face the law nonetheless, but some must be permanently rusticated. Their records must be made such that they cannot gain admission, into any secondary school. Sometimes, if we don't take some of these extreme measures and make scapegoat of some people, this thing ripples. Because, Koku, I mean, in the last 3 to 4 weeks, if I'm not exaggerating, almost every single week, there's some riot involving some campus. And it looks like they are picking up from each other. Oh, Charlie, these guys have done it. Nothing really happened. Charlie, we too is our turn to misbehave. Because I don't know what it is that will make you try and fight the town folk. I mean, look, as any school, misbehavior will happen between staff and students. But to take it to the town folk, I'm telling you, are in some deep trouble there. Some deep, deep, deep trouble. Because this thing can have a reprisal attack even months on when the matter seems to have been resolved. Because there'll be somebody there in the town whose sister, brother, might have been hurt. You are going for midterms, you are quietly going to board the car. Before you know, some missile has landed on your head, and it is 3 months late. So please, we ought to be extremely, extremely careful. And I think those parents whose kids are involved must reprimand them strongly. The GS must take a very strong position on this matter and make a very strong deterrent scapegoat out of this. It's getting way out of hand, and it's terribly upsetting.
Well, that's that. I even wanted us to. I probably didn't want us to belabor that point, but the PR around the free SHS at the time when it was going to be implemented and commenced was, just come, don't bring anything, just come. I was right on radio when I heard those things. Just come, don't bring anything, just come as you are. You'll be sorted. That was the PR from policymakers, from sector ministers who needed to know better that at least some responsibilities lie at least on the parents. But the PR was just come, and they made categorical statements. It's free. Don't bring anything. Don't listen to anyone. Just come. That was the PR around it. And so you don't blame them when they still
very
send
unfortunate.
Them. Yeah,
very,
yeah.
Very
I was on radio, and I can tell you for a fact that was it. But thank God for the forum. Let's see how it comes. Again, there's a bait to say that if anything is touched or reviewed, they have said that this government, of course, we have discussed it, this government is using the forum to make excuses for the promises that they have. I don't know what you think about that shortly before we go to the next one. To say that if it is reviewed indeed, and we have called for a review, it means the government has an excuse to
I think the review is very, very important because when you look at the disadvantages that go with the the free SHS system, there are a lot of disadvantages, shortage of foods, discriminations at various levels.
the Scholarship Foundation. It was and needy students. You see, we can be populist and have what we have now, or we can be realist and do what works and works well. Even in foreign universities, when they grant scholarships, they don't give the same scholarship to everybody across board. They have categories. People who are coming from certain particular regions are given sometimes 100%, another region 75%, some 20%. Beautifully. You see, like I said, we rush too much. We have a brainwave, have a brilliant idea, and we can't wait to throw it there because there are monetary gains to be made. We did the same with our health insurance. Look at where we are now. Today, you go there and your card can pay for only consultancy and perhaps paracetamol. You see, so we attempt to help the poor, and in the end, we leave the poor more impoverished, and the rich become super advantaged because if their kid that doesn't get the A-list school, they'll use their friend in government to get protocol. If that doesn't work, they'll pack a bag of money to go and induce some headmaster somewhere who hasn't seen more than 10,000 in their bank balance before. To twist the list that goes back to GES, they'll use every trick to get in there. And then sometimes the small boy who has done his possible best to get some 5 1s and 4 2s is sacrificed on the altar of challenge. Organ won't make a kiddie enter. So I think that we ought to just streamline. I just don't know why it's so difficult to think of things holistically. Patriotism seems to be dead. And I find it worrying. Every time I come on a program like this, I speak so passionately because sometimes you are almost at the point of depression. Why can't we get it right? Because there are so many PhDs, so many masters. What did we do it for? To come and rob the nation? Really?
Yeah. I share in those sentiments. Of course, Reverend Sylvia does as well. But let's move on from that point, shall we? Let's go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, where Mr. Honorable, I guess, that's how they're called, right? Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa has to appear on Friday, February 28th, 2025, to address concerns surrounding the deportation of Ghanaians from the United States of America. The move follows growing unease amongst lawmakers over the treatment of Ghanaian deportees, with calls for government intervention to support their reintegration. And so, Member of Parliament for Asin South, Reverend John Ntim Forjo, had raised those concerns. Quite a number of people, when you monitor socials and the sentiments there, have said that, well, it's not as though we didn't know that this is about to happen. It was announced by President Donald Trump, and people are living there without, proper documents. Some of them have engaged in crimes and all of that. So why are we feigning surprise? Who is coming? Why are we feigning it? But let me hear your thoughts, though.
Well, it's a sad one, but I think what Reverend Forjo has raised is a very important issue.
Right.
We have a lot of Ghanaians that are in the U.S. that, when I look at the number first, it was around 4,000, but the minister said it's around 156. I think it's not just a number, these are parents, these are individuals that have played various roles to their families. And for them to be up there, when you are in U.S., there's a lot of perceptions. You have all sorts of things to support the home. And for them to be deported to the country as a result of not having papers and all sorts of things. When they come, the issues are rampant. When they come down, the perception they go through, the trauma they go through, the psychological effects that happens to them, it's something. A lot of people can commit suicide because when you are deported, my brother, they will just bring you down without anything.
Anything.
You are not coming with anything.
Where they got you is where they are taking you to. Like what you were wearing, you are going.
It's a very sad issue. So what he raised is a very important thing, that there should be a system to absorb them into the system. When they come back, there should be a way of rehabilitation. There should be counseling. There should be a way of creating some sort of employment for them to have ends meet. So I think it's a very important call that he has made. But looking forward, I think the way at which people are traveling, you know, we always have the perception that, oh, when you go outside, there are greener pastures out there.
Are they not?
That is the perception.
Okay.
That's the perception. But when you look at the resources we have here, you could attest to the fact that the real greener pastures is in Ghana, just that we are not utilizing our resources where we are not managing things well. That is why there's a lot of economic crisis. So we just have to see what we can do as a nation to make sure that a lot of graduates that want to travel, there are a lot of nurses that want to travel, a lot of doctors that really want to leave the country because of the salary and all sort of things. And the perception is that when you work up there, the money, when you look at the interest rate, when I change $100, it's a lot of money here. So anybody who wish to go up there to make a lot of income for themselves. But these things are all happening, and we shouldn't encourage it. But as the minister said, when they come, there should be a better way to absorb them into the system, because it will amaze you. I've witnessed someone who was deported, and it wasn't a very good thing. The person became moody, thought of committing suicide and all sort of things. So these are people that we can lose, because when you look at some of them, the things they do up there, they are very resourceful. They have a lot of experience. Just that getting documentation and other things are a bit cumbersome to do. So I think it's a good call from the minister.
Well, so I was going along with Reverend Sylvia at a point when he had mentioned that even employment must be given to them. I don't know whether this must be on the light note, but a lot of us here are struggling for employment. And then bloggers have come and they say they should give them employment. But let me take your thoughts, Reverend Papo Bonnie.
Yeah, Koku, I share in the sentiments of Reverend Sylvia, when it comes to the issue of they being given some very good counseling. You know, it's important, because it can be traumatizing when you have gone to seek greener pastures. And I have also experienced somebody who was deported like that. The person had to be taken through Accra Mall to buy something so that it will look like it's actually returned from Abuchi, because Charlie, they docked at the airport with just a polythene bag. So the family went to some suitcases and then went to Accra Mall to get some stuff, so that when he got home, the other family members who didn't know that he had been deported will actually think that he had just docked down from the US. So you can imagine. But I think that we will be scratching only the surface. We need to go to the root cause. What is making people want to leave this place? There should be 1,001 reasons that we should look at it. I don't think Africa and Ghana, for that matter, our case is a case of poverty. It's a case of poor leadership. Because as for resources, we have them in abundance. I mean, more than I don't know if I will get the figure right, but quite a large chunk of the world's resources is right here in Africa, and the majority of it actually in West Africa. They say that West Africa is the single richest spot on the surface of the earth. Talk about the cobalt, uranium, gold, bauxite, manganese, iron ore. It's all over in this place. We are truly and honestly blessed by God. We have the timber, we have the water bodies. The whole thing is just leadership that will sit down and be able to put these things together into something that is profitable and to be a blessing to the citizens and occupants of the land. And I think that President Mahama, in his last AU meeting, raised that thing very strongly. And I think our former president also made a similar statement when he went to Babangida's book launch in Nigeria, that it's time for Africa to start to look within to find solutions. America was not built by donor communities. China was not built by donor communities. Indonesia, Japan, they all began to look within. Singapore, with virtually no natural resource, they began to look within. What is our competitive advantage? What can we really leverage to pull ourselves up by the boots? And I think that we should start to do that, or else we'll continue to have this flight. People undertake such very dangerous routes, to get there. Some in the Libyan desert, some swallowing and drinking their urine along the way, some swallowing their foreign currency, so that bandits will not take it from them. They have to pull it out at a point. When you hear some of these stories, they are horrid. The stowaway guys who are in the stern of a ship, and then many hours they spend there, almost at suffocating a level. Some die before they dock in these strange lands in Spain and Italy and all that. I think that I remember one story where a person actually traveled within the engine. Can you imagine? They wrapped themselves in a blanket and was in the engine. You could get cooked. Because I watched one movie where somebody drove across, did a very long road trip in the US, and they put some beef in a foil right there on the engine. And by the time they got there, was totally grilled with all the spices well soaked in. So I can imagine what this person had gone through, wrapped in wet blankets in that engine. So we allow people to go to too much peril in the name of daily bread, which is in abundance in this place. I mean, my little house, I stay here. Any seed I throw about just grows. My little daughter was doing an experiment for school. A small decapitated part of the vaulting bottle. She just put in some grains of corn, and look at it. Within 2 weeks, the thing has sprouted. She sent it to school this morning for agri project work. It tells you there's so much fertility around us. We are blessed as a people, and I think that our leaders have disappointed us for far too long. We've got to wake up and then start to make Ghana a proud place that we all want to be and stay here. I had a chance to go to the UK more than 2 decades. And look, I stepped there and I told my family, I'm never ever going to come back here except on a holiday, because I don't see what is in this place. People kill themselves to come here. You can barely get somebody to even greet you properly. Social interaction is so poor. Everybody's in a hurry chasing some pound somewhere. Somebody even falls on the sidewalk and nobody bothers to stop to ask what is wrong. Everybody is passing. The kindest person may call an ambulance. I feel that their society is not a place. It's so anti-cultural to our kind of environment. And I think that we need to make this place a place where we all love and cherish and want to be. Many Ghanaians want to return home. Their greatest care is our health delivery system. I have a couple of people that have reached out. They are so afraid of the fact that they can die in the hospital because you can't find an ambulance and there is no bed syndrome. You see, these things have stayed for far too long. Let's get the economy right. Let's get basic fundamental things working. It is 2025. Why doesn't water even run? That's why these people are running away. They are running away because they can't see a future for themselves here. Public schools in the UK and the US are like our SOS Heimer Minor and our Tema International. Can you imagine the public schools? Not their Saito. You get it? It's like our Hemamina, so they are running away. It's not that they are illogical or they can't reason, but something is really pursuing them. And let's get it right. And as for people being treated badly when they are in detention and all that, I doubt our foreign minister can do anything about it. It is you are in their country as an illegality, and you are really at their beck and call. You are really at their mercy at this time. We just hope and pray that the Americans and every other place Ghanaians that they are being sent will see reason and be very humane in how they treat these deportees, because the pages can flip. We can only make a plea, but really, what really can Honorable Kudita Blackwa do? To pick a phone and call Trump and tell, I don't like what you are doing to Ghanaians, when they just canceled only USAID $155 billion and your whole budget is going haywire. You see, we've made ourselves too vulnerable through our thieving, our poor leadership, and our self-inflicted wickedness. It's not good. If we stop it, can you imagine that we've gone to IMF for $3 billion, and yet Oral is telling us that 20 billion is missing. But it tells you that, look, Ghana does not need to borrow money from nobody. The monies we are borrowing, we have turned around and stolen and eaten them and fed fat. If we stop our thieving, we start to put in the proper structures, basic infrastructure. Light must be there and it must be stable and available. Yesterday, I lost count the number of times my light went off. Saturday was awful. every day I experience light off about 2 or 3 times, and it lasts for not less than 2 hours. You know, and you don't understand, and there's no communication. We're only being told, bear with us. We want to bear with you sensibly. Give us a timetable so that we know what is going on. We know you inherited something bad. Because look, by June, none of us are going to be treating this government with kids' glove. They will come, they'll wake up from their honeymoon. I'm telling you, it's going to come like kakai, like somebody sang in a song. It's going to come like a roaring kakai. So please, let us start to fix things holistically. Free SHS, you've come, you want to review, we'll give you a chance. One academic year will pass because you came to meet it. After a while, you can't tell us that after the review, that white paper, we are taking no more white paper. This is what Ghana voted for. Listen, look, Kokuma had breaks. When I watched documentaries where Ghana was manufacturing nails, we were making shoes, we were making cars. We had the first car assembly plant right here on African continent. We're making Tata buses here. The OSA buses were being assembled. Look, we had industry going. And then out of political annoyance and anger, we just turn all these things into rubbish dump. Some have been bought by churches. Some have been changed to residential estates. I mean, look, what kind of thing are we doing here? What we are seeing as green pastures somewhere was first planted, watered, bloomed, and lawned. That's why it looks green. There's no grass that looks green elsewhere, which was not worked on. So we must start to create our own green pasture. Look at the young man in Burkina Faso. Look at what he's doing. I just saw this week that he's setting up a multinational, international level pharmaceutical industry. So international level, we have, he's doing meat factory, tomato factory. Look, and we are saying that one district, 1D, 1F. Where is there even 1F? That is making Azuma blow soap or Alata Samana on a commercial basis. We should stop declaring ourselves. What we are doing, we are letting our people down. And one day when we have had it, there may be an implosion we are all not ready for. I think all this anger we are seeing, these are students manifesting. If they carry on and bring the political space, they may not fight in parliament, they may fight on the streets. So please, let's wake up and smell the coffee. Maybe Donald Trump has come to give us yellow card before the red card itself flashes. Right now we are in VAR. Let's go watch those clips and see how well we are messing up. And let's get busy and let's get serious. We are letting Ghana down. I fear because my oldest child is in senior high school. I met his classmates, right? One of them, I was dropping my kids and I met her on the way. And I said, but you went to school just about 3 weeks ago. So yes, we have vacated. I said, what? So when are you going? I said, we are going to be home for 3 months. I almost jumped out of my seat because I had to break my back to put my child in a private, semi-affordable Catholic school somewhere in Kaswa. And it's going to be home for 3 months. Because we were in school for 9 months every single year for 3 years, 27 months. But for extra classes, I don't know how I would have gotten all the A's I got as a science student. And these guys are going to be in school for about 6 months the whole year. That is 18 months in 3 years. How do you expect that they'll do better and be even well equipped? So we are sinking an already leaking ship. We are sinking a leaking Titanic. And we are happy because it is free and the poor can access it. In an attempt to help the poor, we are lowering standards, we are destroying everything. The middle class will find alternatives at a point, and they'll keep governing us, and the country will keep sinking and sinking and sinking. Why can't we just see? We are waiting for more deportations. Let it be. Maybe that is what it will take. And look, I'm sorry to tell our deportee friends, the best Ghana can give them is some counseling for them to not be traumatized and commit suicide. But if it is reintegrated into a job, we're already in the queue, like you rightly said. I don't know how they will jump us and enter those jobs. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but that's a reality.
I see. The Archbishop will be proud of both of you this morning. Even at church yesterday, he mentioned this particular thing where he said, look, he's looking forward to a day where we the young people will not go about queuing to leave this country. And so you just said it and even said it more, of course, Reverend Xavier, quite a number of comments on our YouTube and pages. There's quite a number of them. Cherubim Mauli says, puts great convo. Pastor Lebonga also puts some emojis, fire emoji, and of course also grateful. Africa must wake up. That's according to Debbie Dad Ruby. DNA, I thought this is deep. Love the show. William Amwa, insightful conversation. I love this show. Binizaba Bio, thank God it's Monday, Dominion TV Ghana. And Sir Solomon, Wake Up Africa, Rebecca Obeng, I'm enjoying the show, keep it up. Media More Global, nice one, keep it up. We love you all. Davis Nate, Wake Up Africa. Biadela, Africa Needs an Awakening, one conversation at a time. Wake Up Africa is a great show. And also Caleb Okauni, Nye De Brown, 5 emojis. Kem Minta says, I'm really enjoying Reverend Savior's submission. It is on point. Indeed, you also keep watching, and let's also know what you think. You can follow the conversation on our socials, from YouTube to X to Facebook to Instagram, and drop your comments there. I'll be glad to share with the world. Let's now do, if you like, get into the final ones. President John Dramani Mahama has instructed anti-Galamsey task force to seize excavators, not to burn the excavators, but of course he said this, made these comments during a kettle that was paid on him by Dr. Hilliard Dogbe, the chairman of Christian Council of Ghana, at the seat of government in Accra. This is what he had to say. I've told them not to burn the excavators, they should confiscate them. Before you start, he also lamented a number of things that have happened, and also spoke about what is to be done next. This is what he said, and I quote, "Are you finished getting the lease? What the big companies do, they have cleaning agents they put in the water, and it's out all the toxins and everything. You can't discharge the water back into the environment. We'll engage them and bring some of these new technologies to their attention." He also intimated that 1.8 million Ghanaians are involved in small-scale mining, whether or not it's legal or illegal. There we have a case on our hands. It also ties in with what Reverend Bafumi has said, but let me hear your thoughts. He says, don't bend the excavators, confiscate them. To do what is my question.
Well, it's a very interesting thing how things are turning with the issue of Galamsey. We are all in this country when we saw the devastating state of Galamsey, the impact on the environment and the river bodies and other things. It's very sad, when people are carrying out these activities and destroying our water bodies, our vegetations, and other things. For them to not bend the excavators, as he said, to me, it's okay, fine. It's excavators are very expensive. To bend them, it's not the best. But to me, I think the best thing that they should halt all activities of Galamsey nationwide. Because when we look at the effect and what is happening, I think activity should be halted completely. And all those that are involved in small-scale mining should be invited. As he said, there is new technology as to how mining should be done. The question is, are they educated? Are they trained? Do they know some of these technologies? Are they really informed about it? And are they willing to imbibe by these principles?
Yeah.
It's amazing when you read a story, even some of the forest reserves. Recently, this morning, I was even hearing that some people were arrested, some Chinese nationals, and some people were arrested as a result of this galam. So it's an activity that is going on. And these excavators are in full glare of the public. Everybody knows when these excavators are coming to their community. And they are very much aware that it's for Galamsey purposes. But the truth of the issue is that these people are really, let me say, loaded. They come with a lot of money. And they find ways of settling the indigents of the community. They give them a lot of things to enable them carry out the activities. Look at what happened. Even when the news, I think it's City News, went to take footage of what was happening. And they were so confident to confront them at the full glare of the police. And these are very sad things that are happening. And people feel that they have the privilege to do whatever they are doing. The seizure is not the permanent solution to what is happening. When you seize it, fine, they can still buy. Even when they were begged, they still came with new ones to continue whatever they were doing. So I think the government should come out with a holistic approach to this thing. And all stakeholders, the community, the chief, individuals should be angry at what is happening. Because look at the water bodies. It's very sad. Some of the toxins that are released into this waters, it's causing a lot of harm to a lot of people. And we cannot just keep quiet because of the personal needs of people for people to die and go through all sort of diseases. So I think there should be a holistic approach to it, not the seizure of the escalators that will stop galamsey activities. They can seize, but if the people really want to go, they'll go.
I see. We have some 5 minutes more to wrap up. Reverend Bafo Bonnie, the issues have come up, even the land tenure system in Ghana, where the land is vested in the authority of some chiefs. Look at Ashanti region like this. And so who must come to the rescue of the places when it's vested in the chiefs, whatever. So I don't know what the balance is, what the partnerships are, but share with me in about some 3 minutes before we wrap up.
Yeah, the reality is that, you see, this same business, it goes beyond the tenure thing. I have always believed that there should be a very, very holistic approach in dealing with this matter. I feel that even the issue of licensing, it should start from the grassroots level up and not the other way around. You get it? Where the chiefs are involved, opinion leaders are involved, assemblies and districts are involved. See, because they're the ones that are within these communities 24/7, and they can check the excesses. So they will be involved in even assigning concessions and where people's boundaries, and they'll be involved with the district EPA offices to ensure that people are practicing the right best practices. They are doing their reforestation. They are putting the necessary chemicals to make sure water bodies are reclaimed. They are the ones that are at the forefront of enforcement. Because see, what is really making the galamsey struggle so difficult is that these local boys are sitting there. Number one, they have no jobs. Number two, cocoa farms are being damaged. Some of these guys are going beyond their boundaries. You wake up in the morning and your whole farm has been excavated to a depth. I know somebody whose family farm was excavated like that, and he went to see the people and brokered the deal that for them to have it for free, but they will take it anyway by force. We will not collect some money and let the farm go. You see, so the regulatory framework must start from that local level where the people on the ground are involved. Because once they are not involved, then they see foreigners, some Chinese person, somebody who is not a Ghanaian, and say that he has a concession. And then he comes and starts this excavation. And they feel that we are the custodians. We live here. Our ancestors are the allodial owners of this place. They have the right to this land. And the foreigner can come and do it. And I would not be given the opportunity to do it. Why not? Then they jump in and then start going into some of these wells, start digging all around indiscriminately. And because they don't have the technology for all these reclaiming and all that, the pollution is higher, and then the hazards are very highly increased. And Coco, you will not believe it. There's a myth that when somebody dies in a particular galamsey pond, there is higher gold yield. Or they believe in that, our account maxim, that sika emoja. Once blood has been poured, because remember, gold is called sika koko. So once blood has been shed, a life has gone in, then now there's going to be a serious outcrop. I see you are amazed. I'm sure you didn't know this because I heard this as legend. So it's like when they hear rather that a pit has caved in or somebody has died, they would have thought they'll be threatened by the danger. They rather rush en masse because they know that then once the sacrifice has been made, quote unquote, there's going to be a major explosion of gold in that particular place. So we need to really appreciate all these nuances, that come with our mythology and our local governance system and our chieftaincy system, and begin to incorporate all these. Because mind you, when these machines that are being used for excavation are going in there, they don't drive on the road, so they are on load beds and payloaders. Payloader is not like something you can put in your breast pocket. It's not a pocket square. You know what I'm saying? It's a huge machine. If you don't know, huge one, and drives and makes a lot of noise. So the people see it going in and coming out. Why are they silent? They are complicit because they know these guys going will employ my young people who are unemployed. They will get off my back with all the noises they are making. So sometimes DC is even seeing it, so that these guys coming to rally around my office to make noise that they have no jobs. Let this guy go and employ them in the bush there and let them, I have had check members that were involved in this. And if I tell you how they run in the forest when they hear of some of these forestry gas and things, I say it's scary. One guy said at one point they were eating their rice in the bush. When they had the forestry gas, they poured the rice into his shirt and literally tied it up on his shoulder. I mean, his whole stomach was scarred. because that was the only meal they were going to have for a very long time, and they couldn't afford to leave that rice behind. That is the hazard. I'm talking about young guys who are 16, 17, 18, some barely scratching 20. You see, and they can see a bleak future. So if we are going to do this, why can't we have, for instance, a local academy that is run at the district assembly level to teach people safe mining, for example? And then some of these excavators, as they are seized, you get what I'm saying? They are even used for some of this practical training, so that because anything that is done wrongly can be done rightly. So at this, some of these academies are at the district assembly level. They are doing the certifying. Instead of sitting in a crowd with your tie, giving concessions, you are also going there, helping with the certification process of even who a miner is, who is a licensed miner, who is a licensed small-scale miner, what is that they can do. So instead of pouncing on everyone, you get there, you check. Do they have the right certification? Are they working according to what is the standard procedure and the international best practice for this kind of mining? And then with that, we can even regulate the volume of gold coming in there. We can even curtail the smuggling going to some of these markets in Dubai and all that, and have real value for money for our gold. And even look at establishing a refinery to even add value before it crosses our border. We can change this into a real money-making venture instead of sitting down and crying wolf. We are just refusing to stop to sit down and think. And the reason is very simple. It may sound simplistic, but Koku, the truth of the matter is that when you keep unveiling and you open one curtain and see that it's your blood brother standing there, it becomes very difficult to shout thief. That is what is happening with our political class. Their hands are too deep in the galamsey business that every government that comes in their attempt to go in, as they delve deeper to try and get to the root, they start to see party chairman, they start to see deputy women organizer, they start to see regional ward chairman, and so on and so forth. So in the end, actually, let's just pretend to solve, because we cannot shoot our own self in the foot. So if we can, again, like I said, be patriotic, put Ghana first. Look, my dear party chairman, my dear woman organizer, my dear youth organizer, listen, we can't go this route. We can do it the right way. We can maximize profit. Ghana will be completely blessed, and you too will have your fair share of the cake. That is doable. Let us stop the politics. A time is coming, an implosion will hit us too hard. We can't contain it.
I see. Well, I don't know what makes me, at one point makes me very, very, very sad. At one point makes me very, very hopeful as well. And so the knowledge that is oozing out from both of you gives me a lot of hope as well. Then the sad situation is that the leaders who must listen are continuing giving a lot of excuses and are running in deep waters of alibi. We're grateful. Reverend Xavier Demoji is a clinical engineer and also an assistant pastor at the Action Chapel International Teshi here in Accra, Ghana. Of course, also to you, Reverend Nanaya Bafoboni, who is an architect and a builder, and also pastors the Eagles Network International Ministries. We're grateful. Such a great company you guys always give me. God bless you and replenish your loss. Yes. Do have a very, very good week as well.
Thank you very much, Koku, for having us.
Thank you. God bless you.
Well, coming up next, Tech and Trends will serve you. And also later on, we'll talk about learning disabilities. I know you're worried about that, your child. That your boy or a girl who does not like calculation, and you know that, Charlie, this one, there's no future. But there's future indeed. We'll have a conversation on learning disabilities, focusing on dyslexia, and how you can deal with it, even as you're confronted with it. Stay with us. Wake Up Africa returns shortly.
Father, we bless you. Father, we honor you. Oh, Krosa, Nyami, Shebia Nyansa Wakwa Wonsa Chirada Ye Yiwa Yeda Uye Nyansa Wakwa Wodye Wonsa Chirada yeah. Nyansabwa Panyamie. Yeah. Jawo Sachro. You are yo. Everywhere in the house, one more time. Nyansabwa you are yo. Say that one more time.
Yeah, okay. So great tune right there by Akese Brimpon, the Lion. Good music. Thank you so much for such amazing, uplifting music. And I know that you enjoyed that conversation with Koku. Africa is going somewhere, but it starts with us. The mindset, the people, what we relate, or probably how we relate and what we churn out. That's where Africa is going. So I don't know about the conversation about Galamsey. Not really a good thing. So it starts with us, right? Okay, so how about we get on with some tech and trends? And my girl, Sia Hene, is in these studios. Good morning, C.
Hi, Biadela. I saw you inside the video.
Well, yeah, I'm that important. And love. I love the Lord too. Yeah. So, what's up with tech and trends for it this week?
First, how was your weekend?
My weekend was good. Yeah, pretty much. I had a few parties here and there.
Oh.
Yeah. And then I think yesterday, normally on Sundays I'm sold out, but yeah. So, yeah, cool weekend. How was yours?
Sister, I really enjoyed myself. This weekend was packed.
See?
Right from Light Up Lagos, that they were saying that, Charlie, Nigerians, they are sold out for Christ too, because from Hallelujah Challenge in the midnight, Light Up Lagos, the place was packed. And then we had Reverend Apostle General Sam Kranchi Ankara celebrating his 65th birthday. So, you know, Royal House Chapel was live, was jamming. And then my favorite of all, so, you know, one of the days we're having our Hallelujah Challenge, we're all busy praying to God for our special needs. And then Lady B, one of our sisters, as you know, social media, dear, we are all friends and families. And then we just saw something that caused all of us to forget our prayer request and then move straight to the prayer request of that our sister. So Lady B said, may my husband lose interest in Florence in Jesus' name. Hey! So Florence, and all of us, you know, and as I was saying, as family members, we just had to leave our prayer request and then see about half of Africans were praying against Florence. I'm praying for her too because she needs special prayers. This one, they are wonder for her.
I see. Florence must be in trouble.
Florence is in trouble. But yeah, the weekend was packed and we really had a wonderful time. So let's get to it. Hi guys, this is C Ahine and this is the Trends and Tech segment. This is where we bring you all the latest news in the world of technology and the trending news shaping our world today. We have a lot that we'll be talking about, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is still the Trends and Tech segment right here on Dominion TV's Wake Up Africa with me, your girl, C Ahine. Moving on to our first story. So Kumasi showed up for Dana Hamilton during the Awake Experience Kumasi edition. It was really nice. And we had a surprise for everyone. So let's check out the video first. was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time in Kumasi with the Awake experience. I can't tell you how much we really enjoyed this. And the nice part about this is, you see, we didn't know that Kweku Kwame was going to be there. And all of a sudden, we just saw like a day to the event, and we saw Kweku Kwame, and everybody was like, oh. So, we've already been praying ahead with the other artists, but we didn't know he was going to minister. So when we saw him, it was something great. And he didn't disappoint. It was just a tip of the iceberg. That's what you saw was just small. The way he charged the place, it was a really great event from one artist to the next. Moving on to the next story. So we thank the Lord so much for what he did in the life of Pastor Jerry Eze and his team members. I don't want us to talk too much. Let's go for the video. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation.
After NSPPD prayer conference in Lagos, we got on a flight. And as soon as we got on the flight, coming back, before we even took off, the air hostess, I just requested to see the pilot, and I saw the pilot. The air hostess walked up to me, and he said, Papa, you're not comfortable. I said, my spirit is not accepting this pilot. And he said, no, sir. What? I said, no problem. Let's go. And then, of course, everybody was tired and knackered. So, but for some reason, the Spirit of God said, begin to pray. And I kept praying. I didn't sleep. Everybody. So I wasn't sleeping. Pastor Sarah was in the flight with us. She was talking with her sister. And we're praying. Just about the time we're trying to land, everything went haywire. If you saw the picture of the plane, all the tires. I'm a frequent flyer, so I know what I'm talking about. We're moving from, and the Lord said to me, my PA is a witness. During the week, I have continued to tell my PA, I don't know why, I'm sensing this in my spirit. People of God. Left, right, left, right. Next thing we heard was, Boa! They said it's hard landing. They say it's crash landing. They said whatever it is. But when we came out of the plane, we found out that all the tires of the plane had busted. But every one of us came out. Nothing missing, nothing broken. Jezebel, let me inform you, you will not make my life like the Omakapatu Karasa Ashakibada. Raise your voice and shout fire. I didn't hear you thunder fire. Let me hear you scream fire. Let me hear you shout fire. Let me hear you shout fire.
So that is Pastor Jerry Eze sharing his testimony. We thank God so much for his life and the life of his team members. And to think that was when they were returning from the prayer conference at Nigeria, Charlie. We thank God for your life, Pastor. Moving away from Nigeria, let's come to our home. Let's come to Ghana. So Pastor Emi Jim Kuneidu, he's a renowned gospel artist, a book writer, he's a youth leader, he's a minister of God. So we know he has been here a couple of times. And by God's grace, he received his pastoral license as a minister in the International Central Gospel Church, probably known as ICGC. It was a really great day. Let's go for the video. When we come back, we'll talk more.
Celebrating 3 decades.
We wish him all the best. So I heard some people asking that which branch is he. So he's at ICGC Aviation Assembly. So if you want to be there, you can follow him as well, ICGC Aviation Assembly. Congratulations, Pastor Emmett Jim Kunedi. We are looking forward to having him back here to join us for Wake Up Africa. I know Biadela will be excited to interview him, you know. Moving on to the final story. So you know this is the last week of the month of February, also known as the month of love. And we can't sign up or wrap up without talking about something that has to do with love. So as we know, Moses Bliss celebrated his birthday on Thursday, and he had his praise night yesterday. We saw his mom praying for him. We saw his friends coming around to surprise him. There were a lot of cakes that he was cutting. But his wife posted something that touched everyone's heart. So let's go for the video. When we come back, we'll see.
Much, but a servant heart. It was just he and his Lord and King. He'd spend his days in prayer and nights worshipping to the one whom his soul loved. And so, like David, whilst he was tucked away in the field alone, God's grace located him from above. What we see today is God bringing to our view what he always saw in him when it was only he and you. In under 30 years, look at what God has done. My love, words can't express how proud I am of the man you have become. An uplifter, selfless in your love and care, a visionary, a teacher, and an exceptional human being. In 30 years, much has changed. But in the midst of it all, one thing has remained the same. You're still that young man that loves to lift up the Lord's name. Minister Moses, what more can be said than what the world and the heavens testify about you? They say your kind comes only once in a generation, once in a lifetime. And nothing could be more true. Happy 30th birthday, my sunshine. You're worthy of being celebrated every day. And I thank God for the masterpiece in you that he made. This is only the start. And in decades to come, I pray God will testify of you also. That like David,
Oh, can I get an oh, that's so cute. Oh, that's so nice. I had my love. I had my sunshine. Oh, Biadela. Love is good too. But that is the video by Marie Bliss. And the nice thing is that today she's celebrating 1 year since she graduated from the law school. So congratulations to you again. And Moses Bliss, congratulations on getting to the 3rd floor. We are praying for more life and more impact for you. This is where we wrap up and bring you to the end of the Trends and Tech segment with me, Sia Hini. I hope you enjoyed yourself. You were informed. Don't go anywhere. We have a lot more in store for you right here on Dominion TV's Wake Up Africa. And remember to head over to our social media handles at My Dominion TV. Make sure to like, share, comment, whatever, we're there for you. Until then, over to you, Biadela.
Okay, thank you so much, Sia Hene. You heard the pretty lady.
Pretty too.
Well, yeah. So thank you very much. Now, up next, we're going to be talking about a learning disability. Most people have children and they're thinking, why is this one not as smart as this one? Why is this one struggling to study at whatever age that they are? What can we do to fix this problem? Some people feel it's a curse. Some people feel they need to be, probably thrown out, ostracized or something. Some people treat them as special kids. But actually, what you don't know is that you've just given birth to a legend and you don't know how to handle them. So today we're going to be having a discussion about dyslexia, and I want you to be a part of that. So you should drop your comments on our socials. We'll be sure to read them. We'll be back.
I want to welcome you to Wake Up Africa Morning Show. If Africa has ever needed to wake up, it's now. I promise you that this Wake Up Africa Morning Show will impact your life. It will illuminate you. The Bible said that thy word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. You need this insight. You need the understanding required to make all the difference in all of our lives. I want you not just to tune in to the Wake Up Africa Morning Show, but I want you to be a sponsor. I want you to partner with us as we take this Wake Up Africa Morning Show, the inspiration it brings, the impact across all Africa, to homes, to individuals, impacting lives. Join us to make a difference. It is said and believed that in this life, what you do to change the life of others matters than what you acquire for yourself. It is believed that it's not what you have, what you possess that matters, but the difference you made in the life of others. I believe as you partner with Wake Up Africa Morning Show, you'll be joining us to make a difference in the life of so many people out there. Partner with us, and every time we touch a life, you are blessed. Every time we impact a family, you'll be remembered for good. God bless you. Looking forward to partnering with you and tuning in to Wake Up Africa Morning Show.
You've been good to me. Standing after all I've been through, and I'm still standing after all I have seen this year, 'cause I have Jesus, He's riding my boat, 'cause I have Jesus, He is riding my boat. Do I have a witness tonight? 'Cause I have Jesus, He's riding my boat. 'Cause I have Jesus, He's riding my boat. Can you just honor the King of Glory all over this place? Come on. I'm still standing here. I'm still standing after all I have seen. Sing this year. 'Cause I have Jesus, riding my boat, taking care of me. 'Cause I have Jesus, He's riding my boat every day of my life. 'Cause I have Jesus, He is riding. Even when I thought I couldn't make it, and the odds were against me, there was Jesus. He was riding my boat. That's my testimony. I saw Jesus. He was riding my boat. Thank you, Jesus. I've seen ups and downs, many bumps and hurdles. Even when I chose to give up, and the odds were against me, I saw Jesus. He was riding my boat.
Well, we're standing because Christ is in our boat, and we do not shy away from announcing that to the world. And we will not make sure that as you go out there, let God lead. May you reflect the blessings and the nature of God, most importantly. That's what we do here on Wake Up Africa. We intersperse it with all conversations that really matter to you and your family. And so welcome indeed to that particular part of the show that deals with something that, for most of us, okay, maybe my background, but we tend to lose sight of some of these things also because of knowledge and ignorance, depending on where you stand, whether you have knowledge or ignorance about it, you deal with it. Learning disabilities, umbrella term, learning problems that we have, right? And so the bigger problem of learning disability has to do with the neurological based problems that you have, where kids or people have problems with their minds, and so it reflects. And that's why you have kids who probably they fear numbers. Some of us, we see numbers and it's doing a lot of things in our minds, dyscalculia. But again, what are the pros and cons? Because, you know, some of these kids could come up with some great things in other aspects. People are dyslexia. Let's get into some of these things. Maybe later on, we'll break it down. I wanted to share with us the background to some of these things, some of these learning disabilities, or if you like, problems. But there's a guest in the studio that has gone through it herself, and of course, founded a particular organization that deals with it. I'm not talking about the Love Mother. The Mother of Love is in the studios. Biadela is here. It's not Biadela. We're not talking about Biadela at all. The guest is in the studios and joins us. Rosalind Abigail Chirenate joins us. She's the founder of the Africa Dyslexia Organization, and she's our guest for today. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much
Indeed.
for having me.
Indeed. Right. So clearly, 17 years before you hit 17, or from the time you were born till 17, you were not able to read.
I struggled.
You struggled.
Yes.
Okay. So tell me the difference between not being able and your struggles.
So even for my name, it took me quite a long. I think even at the age of 13, I still couldn't spell my full name, and you see, it's quite long. So I go to school, they teach all right, and I love school. It's not like I didn't love school. I love school, and I pay attention in class, and I make the extra efforts all the time to understand what my teachers are teaching, but I was just not getting it. And it was stressful to me as a child, because here we are in the class and all your mates could understand and spell, write their name. If it comes to reading, they are reading, and they call you, and you know how we call children in class, like stand up and read a paragraph, and they call you and you're shivering, and it's like, I cannot identify any words in this, but at that time, of course, I didn't know about dyslexia, and my teachers didn't know either. So it resulted that I was the one that was not making efforts to learn. Oh, I was a lazy, and then it translates to you're a bad child, you're not studying, you're not paying attention, and so you love to play and all that. So it kept on and it kept on. And I still couldn't read. And I remember I kept repeating classes because, in Ghana here, at the age of 15, you should finish junior high school, which is JHS. And I was 17, just about turning 18. And I was still in JHS 3. And I got to JHS not because I did pass any of the tests. It's just because they had to push me because I was outgrowing every class. And so when I say I started reading and writing at that age, I could write all my names at that age, but I couldn't put together a full sentence on paper. And so my parents wanted me to finish JHS, and they approached the school that, is it possible you can just register her to finish JHS? And the school said, yeah, but we cannot register her in this school because she still haven't put up her best, and if we register her as part of the candidates, our grades are going to get down. And so my parents they advised them, and they took me to a village, to a public school village, and the headmaster was like, don't worry, I will register your daughter. And that's how I got registered and wrote the BEC. But in the BEC, and to answer your question, I was looking on all the papers. I sat for all the papers, but it was hard. I couldn't identify, I couldn't read, I couldn't understand what was in front of me. Neither even the three subjects that we had, I could not read it. And so I don't know, check mark A, B, and C with the multiple choices. Somewhere my friends could taint their paper a little bit for me, I would do and just copy. But even my mind works in such a way that I look at the paper of a friend, by the time I move my eye to my paper, whatever I saw, I had forgotten. So I wasn't able to even do copying. And that was my experience with school.
I see. What were your parents' approach to this? Indeed, are you one, or do you have a lot of
I have siblings.
How many of them?
So we are 5.
5. You are the last?
I'm the first.
Okay. So a first child, probably they had expectations to say that, look, this child is going to carry the rest that we are going to give birth to, and then comes out to be, like an oops. And how was the approach? I want you to let me know what was going through their minds. And
okay, so I was not staying with my parents. I stayed with my aunts.
Okay.
At this moment when all this was going on, it was in Sohom.
Okay.
But my father was involved. My parents were involved as well. But I was with my aunts. However, we were in a compound house, and in this compound house were other children who were, fortunately for them, were very good. And unfortunately for me, very bad. And so the comparison, it's like day and night. You wake up and it's in your face. And when my parents get the opportunity to visit and they sit with my aunts, it's all about the bad things that I'm doing at home and why I am not able to do well in school. My dad is an educationist.
Okay.
And
that makes it worse.
That makes it worse because his expectation is like this.
Off the roof. Yeah.
And other siblings are doing well.
Okay.
So why are you not doing well? And it was all on the, funny enough, they were always focusing on the bad aspects of me. And to be true, I started becoming bad because as a child, it was like, you're not good, you're not good. So it got to a time where I developed this defensive mechanism where, I'm not good at that, let me not be good. And so it kind of reflects what they are always saying. And that was the approach for me. And it was like, okay, probably this is just how you are. You are not going to amount to anything. And that's how the experience was.
Interesting. Very, very interesting.
Well, for me, my question would rather, not even for you, maybe to Koku, because he's the one who goes deep into education.
Yes.
He's a teacher.
Yes.
Do you have anything from your training and all of that that addresses these things?
Yeah, of course. You are taught. That's why I said I have knowledge about learning disabilities. So you as a teacher, once you are going from training, you have to move away from the theory that you learned in school, because it's just a course that you take. From that point onwards, you are met with different issues on the ground, where you go to a school where, for me, I was very unfortunate to go to a very good school where I was posted. And then the kids were sharp. But in there were kids who were dyslexic, who had dyscalculia, and of course, had all of these. So you need an approach. And I saw my colleagues were not doing anything about it. And so you must take the initiative to read about it and to make sure that it's a different approach to these kids. If you don't do that, it's going to be a mass production, and those kids in there will be lost, and they might not benefit from it. And so, a teacher must have a very, very good knowledge of this and how to attend to these kids beyond even classes hours. Beyond classes hours. And how many teachers are well paid, who are motivated, who are in the right frame of mind
to go extra mile. Exactly, because she actually mentioned that her teachers didn't really know anything about these things.
No. A lot of my colleagues only wrote it before they completed, and that's it.
Yeah,
and
Baba, just write.
Insults will be held on you. They're going to do a lot of things that will damage yourself.
Wow, that's good of you.
Oh,
and thanks for doing that. But I wonder, even currently with the teacher training program, they just still touched on it. It's just like a theory. Okay, so you're going to meet students who are struggling. Some will be dyslexia, dyscalculia, dyspraxia, ADHD, and that's it. What is it? How do I screen the child? How do I profile my students in the classroom? How can I teach them? So the teacher comes to the classroom is how I want to teach the child, but not how the child wants to learn. And that's how the process has been. So you did quite well.
Of course, then I met a child, gave birth to a child who was doing so well. COVID hit, didn't go through any lesson, was in the house all through, came back to school from another environment to another, and was new.
Right.
And the teacher would not understand this. And was heavy, like very high-handed, would always. And I went to the school, I'm like, look, tone down. I've been here.
Yeah.
I know. And so the teachers must know, but how would they know?
I mean, because if you were supposed to, teachers are people in authority.
Yeah.
We see you as even for some children, the words of the teacher is the final say. The parents.
Yes. I was
Mommy
an example.
says go this way. And say no. Teacher says, you know. So
and parents will come to the school and ask, who is this one? Come, why are you doing this?
So that's where my focus is. That the children leave home from confused parents.
Yes.
And we're expected to see teachers who would help to fix that problem.
Very difficult.
But they're also compounding it.
Yeah.
Tell me how it felt for you. We're two worlds. You are in a home that doesn't help. You're in a school that does not help. You're in a world you don't understand.
It was so confusing, and it started damaging my self-confidence because you go to school and because you're in education, you understand. Dictation, mental.
Oh, no.
And at that time, it was caning. So all class, you stand up and they mention the word and you have to spell. And if you get it wrong, it's caning. So imagine if this teacher is going around for like 6 times. That
you collect.
6 times.
Oh, madam, you
collect. My God. Do you do skin care? Because
no, I have some marks on my legs that were as a result of that. So you get caned and the teachers are picking on you. And when it comes to, the funny thing is, the moment we get outside the classroom and it's extracurricular activity, I'm bubbly, I'm light up, I enjoy, we're going for excursions, and I'm excited.
Quickly, that is what the teachers will refer to as, that is all you know.
Yes.
So they see you, what they'll say is, that's all you know.
When it comes to math,
Drama,
you
when
are
it comes to
quiet.
drama, that's what you know. You only know this one. That's the snipe.
But that is where the talent is hidden. That is where my skills
I wish
is
my dad
hidden.
was watching.
I know. He's somewhere. He's in heaven watching. When he returns,
Because that man actually yanked me out of. He was like, look, I can't have a daughter who is part of reading club and drama club and wasting time. And you get it. So now I had to do sports. That's so hard, even though I enjoyed it. And then you have to he doesn't understand why you come home and you have grade C in math. You die.
You are finished.
Yeah, you are dead. You get it. But I was enjoying the dramas.
Yes.
Yes. You know, our parents have
doesn't mean we are
expectations
dyslexic,
for us.
Right.
That they don't come down to understand what is my child's interest. They rather want to project their interest onto their children. And that's where the problem starts. So right in the childhood, they see you and you're going to be a medical doctor.
And that's
so if
it.
I'm coming up and I'm swaying to go to
Football.
let's say, to football,
Yeah.
to art or sing, then it's a problem. And so for me, that has been that was my experience in the school, and I never enjoyed school until I went to my culinary school.
Wow.
Interesting. Quite a number of stories around this because I've seen it. I've seen it. I've come firsthand, and it's bad. At the point, I even had to tell the headmistress who was doing that in the staff common room, stopped her. Said, don't ever say that to a child. Because I just felt like you can't say, that's all you're
good for.
No. Said no. In front of my other colleagues, as young as I was, I had to do it.
You were
It was
rebellious
painful.
at
It was
the time.
very painful.
Wow.
But do you think things have changed because we have moved? We think that we've moved. There's enough knowledge,
Technology.
avalanche of knowledge, and do you think we have made strides?
We're getting there. So, you know, because of the Sustainable Development Goals.
Indeed.
Okay.
When it comes to education, we're looking at 4. So it talks about inclusive education. So every country is mandated to practice inclusive education. But when you come down to our side of the world, which is Africa,
Because obviously,
when it comes to Africa and even bringing it down to Ghana, the moment you take the inclusive education policy, you see a clear gap of what the society understands as inclusiveness. So to them, inclusiveness is we finding accommodations and support for people with physical challenges. So hearing impairments, blindness, somebody who need assisted device like a wheelchair. That is what is in the inclusive education. So when it comes to our learners with hidden difficulties like dyscalculia, dyslexia, ADHD, I'm sorry, there isn't anything on it. And that reflects back to the training college, what the training college will be teaching the teachers. Because it has not been, they will say that, oh, Bible, we have everything there that should support everybody. No. Dyslexia affects 1 in 5, meaning you're talking about a population sample. If you want to go low, you're talking about what? 15 to 20% of an entire population. That is huge.
it could be you, it could be your child.
It could be your child, it could be your friend, it could be anybody. In the classroom settings, you go there, and I always say this, I don't think I will enter into any classroom and find somebody who is, for example, visually impaired. However, I will go into every classroom, and I'm sure I will find children there who are muted. They are struggling to learn, but they cannot voice out because the teacher is asking, does everybody understand? And because they hear the majority voice, yes, sir, or yes, madam, they move on. And they don't care about the people that are muted and they are struggling in the class. And they are in every classroom. And so even though we're doing our best as countries within our continent when it comes to inclusive education, there's this huge gap of people that we're still not addressing, and that cannot be true inclusion.
I see. We're going to be opening the phone lines, and probably you call and then you ask questions because, of course, she comes from a point of not only experience, also set up an organization that is dealing with these things in very systematic ways. And so you might have a child, you might have a friend's child, you might have yourself who probably is going through something. You can call us and ask your question. You can keep it short in 1 minute, and so we can bring answers to that. The idea of even knowing that you are dyslexic is where I'm coming from, because quite a number of people just come through and say, maybe, just maybe, it's a fault, maybe it's
a curse.
Yeah, it's a curse, and we deal with it spiritually, right? Tell me about it, the knowledge of the people themselves.
So society still don't know. We started Africa Dyslexia Organization in 2020, and we still have so much work to do. And just like you said, just 2 weeks ago, I spoke with a parent who is taking their child to a prayer camp because they think that some bewitchment is involved. That is why their child cannot learn. My friend, get support for your child. I am, yes, spiritual person. I believe in God and everything. But God also made people like educators and psychologists and people who can support your child. So for me, and I understand them, it's not because I'm doing Africa Dyslexia Organization I don't understand, because I remember the first time I heard the word dyslexia, I was taken aback. I shared my story of how I read poorly and performed badly in school, and a friend was like, oh, I think you have dyslexia. When I heard that, my heart jumped, because I was like, what is she talking about? So I asked her, and she said, oh, no, I think you have dyslexia. You should check it. So when I left her, I was like, this lady, me. The way I have struggled my life, you want me to go and put a word, dyslexia B, that is probably a sickness, on me to come and
a combination of malaria and typhoid.
Exactly, to be ridiculed.
Who just could be.
So I never paid attention to her. Until later on, a teacher of mine said, I think you are dyslexic, Rosalind. Tell me about growing up in school. And I started narrating my story, and he recommended, go for assessment. And that's where I was like, so what he did, he directed me to a dyslexia organization website. Said, go and read. They have a screener there. Take the screening and come back to talk to me. So I did the screening, and I was like, wow. It's as if somebody has gone to tell them my story of how I struggle, because all the questionnaires, I checked marked them, that is me. So I told this teacher, and he said, I think you're dyslexic. You need to have a professional assess you to now understand. And I did, and it turns out I have severe dyslexia.
Severe?
And I'm like, oh.
Stages?
Yes, so all dyslexics are not the same. We some will struggle differently, some will struggle differently. Yes.
Okay, so that's where they...
Exactly. And so I was like, oh, okay. And then I'm a very curious person, so I started reading about it. And I came back to Ghana, saw another psychologist at Rich Hospital, did a second assessment with her, and she was the one that sat me down and said, listen, dyslexia is not a curse. If you look at all your life, through all your struggles, and you have been able to achieve all that you have achieved in this short space of time, and you are accepting that you're not good, my friend, start bringing yourself together. When she did sessions with me, after that was where I had a conviction to be on dyslexia journey. But you have to see, even me at that time, as somebody who I can understand things, I was pushing it.
Yes.
So for parents that don't have the basic understanding of what this is, they will be saying that somebody is bewitching my child. But what we need to do is, just as you brought me on this set, is raising the awareness, debunking the myth and the stigmatizations around what learning differences are. In some countries, they don't even say learning disability.
So, yeah, of course. I was even going to say that.
Oh, yeah?
Because the use of the word even
they say
disability makes the child feel like, okay,
something
I'm not
is
good enough.
Yes. But for me, the word disability, I'm very comfortable with it.
Acceptance.
Because disability doesn't mean inability, but learning differences, how children learn difference. Some teachers are sitting in classroom, they don't even know that you have 5 different types of learners in your class. Those who learn through visual, kinesthetic, tactile learners, auditory learners, reading and writing learners. Some educators don't know. So if they don't know and they are in a class with Rosalind, who learns through hands-on, kinesthetic, visual, and you're doing reading and writing with me and I'm not getting, you turn out to say, I am the one that is not good.
Where you find the problems more is the private schools.
Tell me about it.
There are pupil teachers who do not know these things. But because you find the environment, right, where it stimulates a lot of the smarter ones to become better, they use that as the measure. So you can have your child go through that and become a master of the rote learning. Chew, pass, and forget, that kind of thing. Where we went through the private schools, I'm not saying all of them, but if they are watching, they know this. So they engage people, teachers who don't know anything about this. Of course, yes, they have some in-service training on just pedagogy, how to teach, how to be able to do it. So the Montessori methodology, and that's all. But these are nuanced, ways. So if you are sending your child to the private school thinking that, because it's Saito even does it better because it is supposed that the teachers there are trained to teach these ones. They
don't.
He just busts his
They don't.
That's why I was coming.
You were exceptional.
How to learn.
You made an effort. Like, okay, I had this in school. It doesn't just end here. The internet is an open source. Let me go there. What is this talking about? If you are and that's why I have a problem on how we recruit people into our education field. That field is not a field for everybody.
I think it's a calling.
It's a calling.
You don't have
if you have not been called, you are not supposed to be in education.
Yeah.
Because with the limited resources they have, they are still good teachers.
Right.
And of course, the world also have gotten it wrong for educators. I feel the same way a doctor needs to earn and benefit, that same benefit needs to go to an educator who is making that doctor. And so the benefit they are receiving is small. So the teacher is like, okay, then I don't care. Why should I go and invest my internet and read and come and support? So they just go and go and go. But they don't also know that if it's truly your calling, you do everything because you want to shape this kit that God has placed in your hands so that tomorrow you sit somewhere and you're like, I helped nurture the people God brought into this world.
This is big. How are you doing it with your organization? What do you do? How do you measure impact?
So we as Africa Dyslexia Organization, the number one challenge we realized was awareness. When the awareness is not there, and I was making the example with you this morning, and I enter into your office and I come and even tell you, I'm looking for support to go and run training for teachers. You probably will be like, what am I talking about?
Yes.
So we are heavily into awareness. The next step is advocacy, where we engage policymakers, governments of education institutions, to look into inclusive education policies and analyze where gaps are and suggest improvements. Then we go a step further to do teacher training. Because if we decide to go and do screening or assessments right now in schools, we'll probably find so many children who are struggling. So our idea is, why not invest in the knowledge and skill building of educators? So they go back, teach these kids for a period of 6 months. And if they are doing it well, a child who cannot read, you can literally pick the child within 4 months, the child can read.
Oh, great.
So go back, teach these children, and then so those that are struggling, we will do assessments because the training will enable the teacher to be able to screen.
Okay.
So you will know.
Yeah, hold your thoughts there. Forgive me, because we don't want to lose Nicolina as well. Nicolina is calling us from Teshi. Nicolina, can you hear me? Hello? Nicolina, can you hear me? Okay, we'll try one more time. Nicolina, can you hear me? If you can't hear me, welcome to the show. Alrighty. Please call us. Let's know what's on your mind. Let's know. If you have questions, Madam is here to deal with them. So you were saying assessment.
Yeah.
Oh, Nicolina? Nicolina is back. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Indeed, you're on air.
Hello?
Talk to us.
Hello?
Yes, talk to us. You're on air. Oh, our lines today. May it come under the control of the Holy Spirit.
I think I have there's a comment on YouTube.
All right.
Bridget Ifua in Japan, she says, my son says it doesn't remember sometimes what he's being taught. Right? She even has a son who reports back about me, like, so that's all she would, but I'm sure probably she would have been asking a question that, is that something she has to start looking out for? Is that,
of course,
right?
Of course, and I wish I know how old is the son of hers, but if this is persistence, yes, you need to seek support for the child. One thing is early identification and support is key.
Great.
Do not wait for your child to grow. So let's say your child is 6 now, madam. Do not wait for your child to be 10. Because by the time your child is 10, both you and the school would have damaged the emotions and confidence already for your child. So seek the support now, because early intervention is key. Get assessment done. Speak to the school. Collaborate with the school, because you cannot do this alone. And then from there, seek for assessments for your child. Speak to the school. They can put in individualized education plan for your child and put your child on it to give him the targeted intervention that he needs.
That speaks of the cost, though. We'll come back to that. Nicolina is back, we're told. Nicolina, can you hear us? Nicolina, can you hear us? Oh, no, our lines. Nicolina. Right. Okay. Do you have any other comments?
Bridget actually brings back another comment. She says, but he's very good in speech. So that's like speaking good English. He likes IT.
Good.
And just that he cannot write well. So you still advise that she goes and seeks.
So she goes and seeks support. And then also, I'm glad she knows what the child loves, because some parents don't know. So your child loves IT, he loves speeches. It looks like we are having some speaker come out from this home.
Yeah, right.
So build on these skills. Find help. Be in those settings for him to see other people speaking. Engage him in a coding school, IT school. There are so many around now for kids. Engage him in it, but then also seek for support so we can work on the reading skills and the remembering skills. Please, if you also contact us, we will be able to recommend some experts to you. So please seek for support. Don't waste time at all.
Amazing.
Right. I want us to talk about the costs and also whether or not, as a matter of policy, we can only rely on organizations like yours. But before I do that, I was shocked at why we're still lashing or stressing on kids to learn how to write my first copy book, because if the world is going digital, okay, let me see if I can. I'll come back to that thought. But Nicolina is back. Nicolina, can you hear us? Hello, Nicolina. Hello.
I can hear you. So my question is, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay, so my question is, how about those who have problems with numbers, and what's done to correct that?
Right.
Those who have problems with numbers. He has problems with writing, with reading and stuff. But there are some who have problems with numbers. What is it called? And how is that solved?
Dyscalculia.
Dyscalculia.
Are you well versed in that?
So our organization, even though we're Africa Dyslexia Organization, we do learning difference.
Okay, that's
so
fine.
we take in dyscalculia and all that. So that's she asked, what would that be called? That name is dyscalculia. However, I have to put something across that it doesn't say that because your child is struggling with reading and writing and recalling or mathematics, meaning your child has dyscalculia or dyslexia. I don't want people to assume right now that, oh, like the lady on the YouTube to say that, oh, then my child is dyslexia. No, until a professional assessed your child to say so, you can only assume that there is maybe a tendency. So that's where assessment is very important. And she asks how to teach them both English or maths, multi-sensory learning. So multi-sensory or multi-modality of learning takes into account all the types of learners that I mentioned. You need to study the child to understand how does the child learn before you are able to teach. So we cannot sit here and say that, okay, for mathematics, you should do this for your child. We need to know the profile of the child before we can put any intervention strategies out there.
You have a caller?
Yes. Elizabeth is calling us from Amasaman. Elizabeth, can you hear us?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, you're on air.
Okay, I want to ask, I have a daughter who is 10 years. But I clearly realize she's good in the reading subject, which is English and other stuff. But then with the calculation subject, which is math, when we are treating a topic to all right, then when we jump to different topics, she gets confused. Then she forgets about everything. So I want to ask, what do we do about that one?
Okay, very well.
Almost
Right.
the same.
Yeah,
So almost the same.
Yeah.
So again, dyscalculia, and we can teach the children again by knowing the child's profile, who this child is, what do they enjoy doing, how do they learn. You know, when you're teaching a child with dyscalculia, you literally can get pizza. You can buy a pizza and say that today we're going to do, say, addition and minus or fraction with a pizza. So you take one, you ask the child how many is left. You can put 3 together. What he's saying is that the child is eating the pizza, but then you are teaching the child with it. So
Madam, calm down. Let's calm down. Maybe let's use achomo in our case.
Let's see achomo.
Achomo.
Or sugar cane.
Indeed.
You can use sugar cane.
You can do that with the pizza with
you
the
cut
Adela.
the sugar. You cut the
Yeah.
sugar canes in different shapes.
Indeed.
And you arrange it beautifully, and you can use that to even teach a child. You can use beads to teach. You can use the top of the bottles. Is it counted?
Yes.
You can get
That's
all
what
those
we call
things.
the cocks.
You can use different things to teach, but then again, if you don't know the profile of the child, you might be teaching the child wrongly.
I see. Joyce is calling us from Santor. Wow. Joyce, good morning.
Yes. Yes. Good morning. Me pamuchawo. Me pese me ba program no so kakra. Me wona na bi wo ho. Se woman no book no so kra sen Bible kakraka na. Woman no from morning to evening no akan evi. But ni notebook there on pesa kan notebook no kra. Ena mass nso onye ade. Enti abofra bi se no se ne ebe no. Me share program me ya parents no so ni fie wo mo kwa adwuma.
Very well. Yeah, that's it. So the talk about he being able to read
all books
except notebooks.
Notebooks.
And also dyscalculia.
Okay, right. So
of course not. Why would I read my notes?
There are some kids, So we have also gifted and talented.
Right.
So let us, I'm not saying this is the case, but just as an example. So He can read any book. They are saying even the Bible.
Yes.
More than the Bible.
I read anything, engineering, anything,
He will read
medicine.
it, but his notebook, that means his notebook is boring.
Very.
Whatever they are teaching him is boring to him.
Right.
I'm suspecting this child will go into class and looking at the teacher teaching him and be like, at this level with what I know, you're teaching me this.
Yes.
So he comes, he closes his notebook, he doesn't even want to open it again. So they need to really study this child and see what level is he. If he's in, he said she's 10, right? So 10 maybe, oh, she didn't mention
No,
age.
she didn't mention
Is
that.
the other
one that's 16.
Yeah. So I don't know the age, but let's assume the child is in grade 6 right now, and they assess this child, maybe he's above the level of the grade 6, and whatever they are teaching is not interesting him. So he's looking for adult one. He's looking for more advanced things to learn. And then, of course, the maths, if she says math, then we come back again to what? This calculia. Yeah.
So the case of handwriting.
Dysgraphia.
Dysgraphia. Well, it might not even be a problem, but we have moved from age. Look, we are dealing with this. I don't know of what the Western world does and the focus, but I can tell that it is not largely because when we're doing pen writing, we had pen friends across.
Yes.
When they write pen pals indeed, when they write letters to us, we saw their handwriting. It was so bad.
Yeah, but for us, we have to go. So if your handwriting is not
Exactly,
nice,
and
mark
kids
it
are
down.
being punished to do so. Are we missing it?
I would say writing is still good.
Okay.
Because it helps, I feel, especially with young kids, you're writing and you're helping with your brain and everything.
Right.
But I don't think we should put a cane to writing. So you can say that, yeah, get my first copybook just so you can get, and I use my first copybook to date, my handwriting is very bad. But you can still use it, but it shouldn't become like the norm, like, teach the child that in a way that, okay, they write and they see, but it shouldn't be a punishment.
Right.
And of course, the world is advancing. So when are we looking into things? So some of the accommodations we say is that, especially for our children with learning difficulties, if the child cannot write, can you let the child speak for the exams? Ask the question. So I give you the answer. But when it comes to just writing in school and you forcing, like beating the child, write. And you know,
it's not good.
Children, when you beat them, you even spoil everything. There is a way you can connect with a child, and what they don't even want or they are not interested in, they will still do their efforts and want to make you happy and also case closed.
Right.
But the moment you bring beating in, you beat the child for all the time. I still say that writing is good, but the approach is wrong.
I see.
Yeah.
There's a message that I'm sure Biadala will be helping us. But before I go there, the issue of, because I've always, for the many times I've emceed the CIMG Awards, PPAG had won. PPAG at those days was the places we used to go to read, and after that, movies are shown, they will go back to read. But I realized that not a lot of people might have connections with your organization and PPAG. Is there anything that, by way of policy, that is missing, and who are the bodies responsible for that?
When it comes to
this learning,
these things, education, Ministry of Education, Ghana Education Service, everything is under them. Okay, and then of course, when it goes beyond the person being out of school, then we come to corporations where somebody like me, if I'm getting into an organization, they need to understand how I work and the support I need to thrive. So it's education. And we are working hand in hand with governments, but hoping they will be interested, because the interest has not been as we are looking for. Because we want to be able to develop even programs with the universities and the training colleges. So before teachers even come out, they are trained, they understand, they know how they can teach all their learners before they come out. This is our approach. Okay. But then it takes time for them to warm up, because of course, For years and years, we said these kids are not good. Okay. And now you're here to change that. So it's taking time.
Yeah.
But we need voices. And just as you two are doing here is great. Okay. I'm hoping to connect to the Archbishop as well. You know, he's dyslexic.
Yes,
he
he's
said
not
it
shied away.
himself. He's not shied away at all. Yeah. We need his voices, people like that. The Ochiame Kwame, the Nanansa Kwaus, all these people are dyslexic. So together with our collective voices, then we will start changing
the narrative.
Absolutely.
I think Kweku Daku sent us a message. He's online now. No, I think he's on phone.
Oh, okay. Good morning, Kweku.
Good morning.
Great.
You guys are doing a very great job, and good morning to my good friend Rosalind. Rosalind is Stephen Kweku Daku, JCI.
Nice to connect with you again.
Nice connecting with you. Now, 3 quick questions. Question number 1. Do we have a cure for dysplasia? Number 1. Number 2, if there is no cure, how can one overcome it? And the third one is, I'm the president of Global Volunteers Corps. So Rosalind will talk after 6, but there are a lot we need to do in our operations across Africa.
Absolutely.
We really need to educate the populace on this very important subject matter. Thank you all very much.
Thank
you.
You.
A lovely day.
Thank you, Kweku. Yes, so...
Can it be cured?
No. You cannot cure it, and it's in 2 folds. Early intervention is key. Right. It can correct all the mistakes I'm still making because I never got the intervention. Still, there are words I will see I cannot pronounce. There are names I cannot pronounce or write out. However, if you put in any intervention for a child, those corrections will be done. But why I say it cannot be cured is the moment you try to cure, which you can't, you take that uniqueness aspect of the dyslexic person as well. Because that dyslexia, even though, or any of the learning difference like ADHD, even though it's coming with a challenge, it's also coming with an advantage. Where exceptionally very intelligent people, analytical people, big dreamers, people who can put solutions to problems, but our society have missed it. We celebrate Richard Branson, Albert Einstein, Whoopi Goldberg, Leonardo da Vinci, Steve Jobs. You're using the iPhone and all that. These are all people that were told were not good. But then society did not push them on the streets. Society gave them the platform to develop their other skills, to be inventors and innovators that are giving us products to use today. Where is that African child? Are you saying we don't have them here? When Ochiame Kwame shares his story, it will look like he should have been on the street today. When you hear the Archbishop sharing his story, it will look like he should have been on the street begging today. But look at him. Look at him. Somebody that says, I went to this Bible school and at that time I didn't even know how to read. But look at how good orator he is. Look at how his mind works. This is the message we're taking across. So yes, you cannot cure, but early intervention can support every child who struggles, whether it's dyslexia, dyscalculia, dyspraxia, ADHD, dysgraphia, they will do good if you put in that corrected intervention.
Okay.
But if you don't, then we are setting that for fail.
Let's see. Are there any messages?
Well, so Bridget came back saying, that's the one who said he's interested in IT. He says that the child is 15 years. 15. So he's 15 years old.
It's still not too late.
Yeah, right?
It's still not too late. Let me tell you why I said it's not too late. You remember I told you I failed the BEC?
Yes.
So I couldn't get into high school.
Right.
And a friend told me that I love to cook, which I do when I was young. So he said, tell your parents to take you to a vocational school and do culinary arts. And I told my parents, and they gave me that opportunity. For me, the person you're seeing with you today, that vocational school I went in Koforidi, a Liberty Specialist Institute, is what set the foundation of who I to become today.
Right.
And with the grace of God, I've become that person. I'm still developing. But when I got to the vocational school, something changed. I started enjoying, because what? Vocational school, what do? Hands-on. Practical, visual. And so now you see tomatoes, and they say the word tomatoes. You see in the spelling, you have tomato. I'm going to explore with tomato as an ingredient to make a sauce or to make a dish or something. And so by the time I finish all this process, what happens?
I've learned.
I've learned. And that's how my mind started opening up, and I started enjoying school. Since then to date, I've enjoyed every school that I've went to. So I'm saying it's not too late for the 15-year-old because intervention can still be done. So don't wait, Mom. Seek for support.
Indeed.
Well, before you asking, I want to read some of the messages that are coming through.
It's your turn.
Walter Decardi Nelson says, this is deep discussion, and he put a fire emoji there. Don't set us ablaze. Yeah. And it said, another one, Mark the Sun, it says, wow, then I guess many people from school have had dyslexia and we didn't know.
How would you
Absolutely.
know?
No, you wouldn't
You
know.
wouldn't know.
Yeah, Juliana Kojo says that's Kujo says that's great, and then Amata Cynthia says great discussions. Kudos, Dominion TV. Yeah, or you want me to touch on other messages that came? Reverend BB was on fire. Somebody actually wrote, hey, Reverend BB is on fire. Actually heard that. That was my reaction. I'm like, hey, today is dealing with all
fire
kinds of.
emoji.
I tell you, it's like fire from the pulpit from yesterday. And we had the residue of that one. Another one says, Ebenezer Babio also says, Reverend BB is on fire, so passionate about this country. Kem Minta says, I'm really enjoying Reverend Savior's submission.
Okay, we read that.
You read that. Okay,
yeah.
Great. So I think that basically that's it. But people have enjoyed this.
So we have
I have enjoyed
some 2 minutes to wrap up. What's the way forward?
The way forward is we continue to create awareness. We continue to raise, do our advocacies across Africa. We now have a number of advocates in 38 African countries. We're looking to partner with governments, especially because when we have their buy-in, we can get things done. We're also looking for corporate institutions and individuals to support our work. It is hard getting sponsorship and support to do this work.
Oh, it will be hard. It's not a music concert.
You go and talk, and it's like people are looking into your face like, what is she trying to do? So we need people to partner us on their CSR projects to advance the work we do. Individuals, if you want to volunteer as well, our doors are open. But if you're parents and you need more information, or you're even an educator and you're looking for training, visit our website, www.africadyslexia.org, and all informations are there on how you can reach us. But I just want to say something before I leave, is that every child can learn, every child has the potential, and therefore, parents, take your time. Don't project your dreams on your children. Let your children bring out the best in them. Seek to know your child. That is what I would say. And for teachers, please, you and an architect to come and take care of these kids in your hands, whether from the early grade or university level. Stop calling children names. Seek for knowledge so you can support your children very well, because you never know. Maybe that child will be the one coming to even take care of you in future. Africa, be wise. You have talents. Let's stop wasting those children to the streets. Let's bring children together and support their growth. Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Indeed.
Africa, be wise.
Wise there we have.
Word to the wise.
It's not in the north. It's everywhere in
Africa.
It's everywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, Rosalind Abigail Chernate is founder of the Africa Dyslexia Organization, and she joined us to have this conversation. Indeed, thank you very much. Just as we have started supporting, we'll see how we can go to support.
Further.
We need to do more series.
Absolutely.
So I can bring my team.
There's a team, huh?
Oh, there is a team, yeah.
Absolutely. Right, it's been a wonderful time, and we cannot wait to come your way tomorrow again with another exciting one. My name is Koku Lumo.
And my name is Biadala. See you tomorrow.
Easy concept. What can't you do? What won't you do? Nothing impossible. Nothing impossible. What can't you do?